My child, yes, you, chosen one, listen with your heart. Do not treat this moment like another piece of content passing in front of your eyes. I have interrupted your scrolling. I have reached into the noise and put my hand on your attention because there is something I want to clarify before you make another decision out of loneliness, or hunger, or fear. This isn't random. This isn't an accident. This is an appointment. You have been wondering, have I already met them? You have been replaying conversations, faces, names, places. You've asked me in quiet prayers, in long drives, in late nights when the room feels too silent, Lord, did I miss it? Did I walk past what you had for me? Did I ignore the one you were preparing? And then the enemy tried to twist that curiosity into panic, into pressure, into a frantic, reaching for anything that feels like a sign. But hear me, I did not bring you here to inflate your fantasy. I brought you here to protect your destiny. Because the one I send may not shock your eyes first. They will settle your spirit, not fireworks that leave you restless, not adrenaline that makes you compromise, not obsession that steals your sleep. My connection carries a holy calm. It comes with a peace that judges what is mine. It will not pull you away from me. It will draw you nearer. It will not multiply confusion. It will bring clarity. It will not demand you abandon your boundaries to prove your love. It will honor what I have built in you. I know you are tired of cycles that look exciting and end in pain. I know you are tired of mixed signals and half-hearted effort and having to decipher what should be plain. I know you are tired of praying for confirmation and then being met with chaos that you called chemistry. My child, I see the pattern, and I am breaking it not by giving you more adrenaline, but by giving you more discernment. Stay with me. Do not click away. Stay through the end, because I am going to give you a filter, one specific peace marker that will help you recognize whether this person is already near you or whether I am still arranging what you cannot see. And as an act of agreement, as a declaration that you are ready for clarity and not confusion, I want you to like this message right now, not for applause, but for alignment. And if you desire ongoing prayer and discernment for your relationships, subscribe because I am teaching you to hear my voice, and I am training you to choose peace over panic. Lift your head, my child. Breathe. You have not been forgotten. You have not been late, and you will not miss what I have ordained. This is the beginning of clarity, and it will feel like peace. My child, I need you to hear me clearly right here, because some of you have been carrying shame about what I never asked you to carry. The longing in your chest, that desire to be known, to be chosen, to build a home, to be covered and to cover, to walk in covenant and not in guessing games. Do not call that weakness. Do not call that being behind. Do not call that desperation just because the world around you has taught you to mock holy desire. Marriage was my idea. Covenant was my design. I placed that yearning in you with intention, not to torment you, but to lead you. And because I planted the desire, I also planted the protection. You have to understand this. Some of the no you cried over were actually rescue. Some of the doors that would not open were not me withholding love, they were me withholding harm. Some of the silence you interpreted as abandonment was me moving you out of reach of a counterfeit that looked like answered prayer but carried hidden compromise. I have watched you almost attached to what would have delayed your destiny. I have watched you try to make home in familiar chaos because it felt like passion, and I stepped in quietly, firmly, not to punish you, but to preserve you. So listen, not every strong feeling is spiritual. Not every rush is revelation. Not every open door is a God door. There are connections that burn bright only because they are fueled by insecurity, by loneliness, by old wounds that crave a familiar kind of neglect. There are conversations that feel intoxicating because they awaken what I have been trying to heal. And my child, emotional intensity is not the same as confirmation. I am not the author of confusion. I do not lead you by addiction. I lead you by peace, by wisdom, by clarity, by fruit. Trust me when you cannot trace me. Lean not on your own understanding when you cannot make the timeline make sense, when you cannot explain why it didn't work, when you cannot see why the promise feels delayed. A heart can be confused while heaven is still aligning. You can be waiting while I am working. You can feel like nothing is happening while I am building the kind of foundation that will not collapse when the winds come. And now, because your desire is validated and your guardrails are being set. I am inviting you to look back, not with desperation, not with self-blame, not with panic that you missed it, but with discernment. Let me reframe your history. Let me show you what I blocked, what I spared you from, what I redirected, what I allowed only to teach you. This is not the season where you chase signs. This is the season where you recognize patterns. And as you do, you will feel it. The pressure will lift, the noise will quiet, and peace will begin to judge what is mine. My child, listen closely, because this is the filter that will save you years of confusion if you let it settle into your spirit. If you have already crossed paths with the one I am preparing for you, it would not first feel like a fire that burns your boundaries down. It would feel like peace that builds you up. It would feel like your inner world exhaling. It would feel like the noise in your mind lowering, not rising. It would feel like clarity entering your prayers, not bargaining. I am not saying there will never be passion. I am telling you the order of it. First, I steady you. First, I settle you. Then, in my time, what is holy can ignite without destroying. Because what is from me does not make you spiral. It does not make you stalk, strive, and second-guess your worth. It does not turn your day into a constant search for hints and crumbs. My connection does not require you to lose yourself to prove it is real. When it is mine, you will feel anchored, you will feel guarded, you will feel led back to me, not pulled away into obsession. And yes, sometimes it will be so gentle you almost overlook it, because you were trained by chaos to only recognize love when it is loud. Now hear me, peace is not numbness, peace is alive. Peace can feel warm and steady even while it is cautious. Peace still prays, peace still listens, peace still keeps your eyes open. Peace does not rush you into compromise. It strengthens you to keep your standards without fear. Numbness shuts down, numbness avoids. Numbness says, I don't care, when you actually do because you are afraid to be disappointed again. Numbness is self-protection without my presence, but my peace is protection with my presence. My peace does not freeze your heart, it frees your heart. And I need you to stop calling butterflies a sign that something is meant. For many of you, those butterflies were not romance. They were warning signals. They were your nervous system recognizing a familiar pattern, unpredictability, inconsistency, emotional unavailability, things your wounds learned to chase because they felt like home. Anxiety can imitate chemistry when the soul is still unhealed. That rush you called connection was sometimes your spirit sensing instability and trying to prepare you for pain. My child, I am retraining your appetite. I am teaching you to desire what is safe and sacred, not what is shaky and sensational. So here is the discernment test I want you to take, quietly, honestly, without performing for anyone. When you pray about this person, do you feel more aligned with me or more addicted to an outcome? Do you leave prayer with peace, able to release them into my hands? Or do you leave prayer with tightening in your chest, needing to control, needing to check, needing to chase, needing to force a timeline? If thinking about them pulls you into fear, comparison, and self-abandonment, that is not my voice leading you. If praying about them draws you into repentance, clarity, patience, and a deeper desire for holiness, you are touching something that carries my fingerprint. And if you can recognize this peace, then you are ready for the next question, because I will not leave you naive, my child. Once you know the sound of my settling, you will begin to ask, how do I know it isn't just comfort? How do I know it isn't convenience? Stay with me, do not rush ahead. I am teaching you the difference between what feels easy and what is ordained. I am teaching you how to discern a gentle door that I opened from a familiar door you're tempted to reopen. And as you let my peace judge what is mine, you will not be confused much longer. My child, hear me, because I am about to cut a cord that has kept you confused. The familiar is not always mine. Some of you keep calling chaos a sign because chaos is what you survived. You learn to read distance as mystery, inconsistency as depth, silence as they're processing, and hot and cold as we have a special connection. But that is not prophecy. That is a survival script trying to reenact what it knows. And I love you too much to let your wounds choose your covenant. I am telling you plainly, I do not hide my will behind emotional whiplash. I do not confirm through panic. I do not lead you by obsession. My spirit does not whisper, then torture you with confusion. When it is me, there is peace. When it is me, there is clarity. When it is me, there is consistency. And when it is me, you are honored in the light, not managed in the shadows. So stop excusing what I have already exposed. Stop calling it a test when it is a warning. Secrecy is not stewardship. Manipulation is not maturity. Lust-driven bonding is not love. Disrespect is not just their personality. Pressure to compromise your convictions is not spiritual stretching, it is spiritual theft. If you have to shrink your standards to keep their attention, that is not alignment. If you have to trade your dignity for crumbs, that is not covenant. If you have to chase, beg, decode, perform, and compete for basic consideration, that is not my design for you. Let this be your filter. My peace will never ask you to abandon yourself to prove you are chosen. My will not demand you violate the very boundaries I taught you to build. I will not send you a person who requires you to lie, to sneak, to settle, to silence your conscience, or to call anxious attachment faith. I am not the author of confusion, and I will not ask you to live in confusion as a qualification for love. Now listen closely, because I am giving you a holy binary that will guard your next step. Peace versus panic, clarity versus obsession, consistency versus hot and cold, honor versus hiddenness. If what you call connection multiplies secrecy, rationalization, and compromise, it is not mine, no matter how intense it feels. Intensity is easy for the counterfeit. Fruit is hard for the counterfeit. Time exposes what chemistry tries to cover. And I am not saying this to make you afraid. I am saying this to make you free, because what I ordain does not need you to chase it like it's running from you. What I appoint will not require you to lose your voice to keep it. I am a God of order, my child, and the connections I bless carry integrity. They do not make you spiritualize disorder. They invite you into alignment. Stay with me, because I am about to take you into my word and show you patterns you can trust. I am going to remind you what my connections look like when I am the one arranging them quietly, honorably, with clear steps and clean hands, so you stop mistaking turmoil for destiny and start recognizing the gentleness of my leading. Now let me take you to Ruth, my child, because you need a picture that will reset what you think you must do to be chosen. Ruth did not chase Boaz in desperation. Ruth did not run around the field trying to be seen. Ruth did not perform, manipulate, flirt with confusion, or try to force a moment. She positioned herself in obedience. She showed up to work. She stayed faithful in the ordinary. She stayed humble. She stayed submitted to wise covering. She listened to counsel. She honored the process even when she was vulnerable, even when she was foreign, even when she had loss on her name. That is what my favor looks like. Not frantic pursuit, but faithful positioning. Do you hear me? Ruth's story is not a romance about striving. It is a testimony of character attracting responsibility. She gleaned in the field, not because she was trying to impress a man, but because she was doing what was right with what she had. She did not demand a shortcut out of her season. She did not use seduction to secure provision. She let integrity speak, and I allowed the right eyes to notice. I allowed the right heart to discern. I allowed the right man to respond. And look at Boaz, because I want you to see the pattern of a God-prepared person. Boaz noticed virtue, not just beauty. He asked questions. He sought understanding. He honored her publicly. He spoke well of her where others could hear. And he protected her privately. He commanded that she not be touched, not harassed, not exploited. He did not take advantage of her need. He did not use her hunger to bargain for access. He increased her safety. He gave instruction that created peace in her body and peace in her mind. He offered covering, not confusion. He offered provision, not pressure. He offered clarity, not mixed signals. That is how my order moves when I am arranging a connection. So here is your discernment lesson. The person I prepare for you will not exploit your vulnerable places. They will not romanticize your wounds. They will not keep you in suspense to keep you attached. They will not feed you vague promises and then disappear when responsibility is required. When it is mine, there is a growth of honor over time. There is consistency you can touch. There is a willingness to be accountable. There is a covering that makes you exhale, not a chase that makes you perform. If you have already met them, stop looking for poetry and start looking for pattern. Do they respect you in front of others and in private? Do they show up the same way twice, 3 times, over time? Do they make space for my presence, or do they compete with it? Do they bring you peace that settles your spirit, or do they stir anxiety that makes you check your phone like it's a lifeline? My child, what I send will not require you to beg for basic honor. It will not keep you guessing about your value. It will not make you feel unsafe while calling it love. And now I am going to take you one step further, because some of you think confirmation must be dramatic. Stay with me. Ruth and Boaz carried quiet honor, quiet protection, quiet alignment. And in the same way, when I confirm what is mine, it often looks like alignment and peace, like prayer answered through orderly steps, not frenzy, not theatrics, not emotional chaos. That is why I am about to bring you to Isaac and Rebekah, because I am going to show you how I move through prayer, through timing, through witness, and through a peace that does not have to shout to be true. Now let me take you to Isaac and Rebekah, my child, because I need you to see how often my confirmation is not a lightning bolt that knocks you to the ground, but an alignment that keeps showing up in front of you until you cannot deny that I am ordering it. I did not write their story with manipulation. I did not write it with chasing. I did not write it with games, jealousy, and confusion. I wrote it with prayer, with guidance, with witness, with character, with timing that fits like a key turning in a door. Abraham's servant did not walk into the field with a strategy to impress. He walked in with a prayer. He said, in essence, God, guide me, make it clear. And I answered him with clarity that did not require him to violate righteousness. I answered him in a way that revealed a heart, not just a face. Before romance was ever mentioned, there was service, there was generosity, there was a willingness to give water not only to him, but to the camels. Do you understand what I am showing you? I was not just highlighting beauty. I was confirming character. I was revealing the kind of spirit that sustains covenant when feelings rise and fall. And then watch how I moved. I did not demand secrecy. I did not demand pressure. I did not demand that Rebekah be cornered into a decision through emotional intensity. There were questions. There was family involvement. There was counsel. There was order. There was a door opening without her having to manipulate the handle. And yes, there was a moment of choice, but it was not birthed out of panic. It was carried by peace. That is what my yes often sounds like. Not loud, not theatrical, not chaotic, just steady, confirming, repeated witness. Some of you have been waiting for one overwhelming sign, one dramatic dream, one sentence that makes you feel dizzy. But hear me, I will often confirm through alignment that keeps agreeing with itself. The timing keeps making sense. The values keep matching. The conversations keep producing clarity, not confusion. The person's actions keep honoring what their words claim. Your prayer life stays intact. Your peace remains when you bring it to me. And even the wise voices around you, the godly people who know you, who have watched your patterns, who can tell when you are spiraling, begin to notice something different. Stability in you, softness in you, growth in you, not obsession, not performance, not that old anxious reaching. Peace. So here is your filter, my child. Does this connection make you more whole or more hidden? Do the people who carry wisdom and love for your soul see you becoming anchored, or do they see you becoming consumed? When I am confirming, I am not isolating you into secrecy. I am establishing you in honor. When I am confirming, I am not rushing you into a fog. I am leading you into clarity, step by step, with a gentle hand. Now bring this out of the pages and into your real life, because I know what you are tempted to do. You are tempted to take every glance, every similarity, every "we were in the same place once," and build a fantasy temple out of it. Do not do that. I am not calling you into imagination. I am calling you into discernment. If you already met them, you will not have to force the story to fit. You will see alignment without you pushing it. You will see fruit without you excusing the lack of it. You will feel peace that remains, even when you are not receiving constant attention. And if it is mine, I will confirm it again quietly, consistently, until your spirit can rest and your hands can stay open, not clenched in fear. My child, stay with me, because this is where many of you have been confused. You keep asking, have I already met them? As if the moment you cross paths, everything must immediately explode into certainty. But I do not always introduce destiny with a spotlight. Sometimes I let familiarity form quietly, like a seed under soil, because I am more interested in what you can sustain than what you can feel. Here are 3 ways you may have crossed paths already and didn't notice. First, they may have been present in a transitional season while you were healing and could not perceive. You were moving. You were starting over. You were grieving something you didn't even have language for. You were adjusting to a new job, a new church, a new school, a new city, a new rhythm. And in that fragile place, you were not looking for covenant, you were looking for air. So I let you pass by them, not to tease you, but to cover you. I let your heart focus on recovery instead of attachment. I let you learn how to stand again before I asked you to link arms with someone else. Do you understand? Some of you were too tender to recognize what was healthy because you were still detoxing from what was harmful. Second, you may have categorized them incorrectly because they felt too ordinary, too calm, too steady. You were trained by noise. You were trained by inconsistency. You were trained to interpret intensity as interest and anxiety as chemistry. So when someone came near you with respect, with patience, with clean intention, you called it boring, or you overlooked it as just a nice person, because it didn't trigger the old familiar adrenaline. But my child, what is? Mine will often feel like breath returning to your lungs. It will feel like your nervous system unclenching. It will feel like you don't have to audition. And some of you dismissed peace because you were waiting for a storm. Third, I may have kept them near but not close until your character and boundaries matured. Hear me carefully. Proximity is not permission. I can let a person be in your orbit while I train your discernment, while I strengthen your know, while I heal the part of you that used to confuse attention with love. I will not hand you a covenant while you are still negotiating with compromise. I will not give you someone prepared while you are still entertaining what drains you. So I kept them close enough for familiarity, but far enough for safety preparation before permission. And listen, already met does not mean already yours. It means I may be establishing recognition before I establish responsibility. I may be allowing a holy familiarity to form before the season of covenant opens. Do not rush to possess what I am still positioning. Now, because I love you, I am about to give you the look for this list. Not fantasies, not butterflies, markers, fruit, honor, consistency. Divine timing you do not have to force. Stay with me, because what I am about to show you will keep you from counterfeits and lead you into peace you can trust. Now listen, my child, I am not giving you a fantasy to feed your emotions. I am giving you a checklist to guard your destiny, because what I prepare comes with a pattern, and the pattern will speak louder than one conversation, one compliment, one late-night confession, one moment of attention. Stay sober in spirit. Look for this. First, peace that remains after prayer. Not peace because they texted you back. Not peace because they finally showed you affection. I am talking about the kind of settling that stays when you lay their name before me and release your grip. When you can pray and then sleep. When you can pray and then keep your dignity. When you can pray and still feel steady, even if nothing happens that day. My peace does not depend on their attention. It rests on my witness. Second, consistency. Watch the pattern, not the peak. Words matching actions. I'll call, becoming a call. I'll show up, becoming presence. No double life energy. No disappearing acts. No spiritual language covering private chaos. When it is mine, you do not have to decode them like a puzzle to feel secure. Third, honor. How do they treat your boundaries? Your time, your body, your convictions? The one I prepare will not pressure you to compromise and then call it love. They will not rush you past wisdom and then blame you for being careful. Honor protects the vulnerable. Honor does not punish you for saying no. Honor makes you feel safe to be honest. Fourth, fruit. My child, I am not impressed by charisma. I am looking for Christ-likeness. Over time, you will see the tone of Galatians, patience when it's inconvenient, kindness when no one is watching, self-control when desire is present, humility that can apologize without performing. Fruit is slow, but fruit is real. Fifth, accountability. The person I send is willing to be known. They do not isolate you from wise counsel. They do not fear light. They can be corrected. They can answer questions without rage. They can be transparent without twisting it into control. What is mine does not require secrecy to survive. Sixth, purpose alignment. Not identical callings, but compatible direction. They do not compete with your assignment. they make room for it. They do not belittle what I placed in you. They respect the oil on your life, and you respect the oil on theirs. Two destinies moving in agreement, not two egos fighting for the steering wheel. Seventh, growth. Hear me, your nervous system calms, your prayer life strengthens, your life becomes more ordered, you stop shrinking, you stop spiraling, you start becoming more you and more mine. That is not coincidence, that is confirmation. And now, because I love you, I must warn you as you hold this list. Counterfeits can mimic one or two markers. They can sound consistent for a week. They can perform peace when they want access. They can speak honor in public and apply pressure in private, but they cannot carry the full pattern over time. So do not be seduced by a single trait. Look for the whole witness, look for the pattern, and let my peace judge what is mine. Now listen to me, my child, because this is where many hearts get trapped, not because you are foolish, but because you are hungry, and the counterfeit studies hunger. I told you to look for the pattern, because the enemy cannot create, he can only imitate. And he will offer you signals that feel like heaven while they quietly pull you out of peace. So I am going to name them plainly, so you stop calling bondage butterflies, and you stop calling anxiety alignment. First, counterfeit chemistry. Yes, you can feel drawn. Yes, you can feel a spark. But hear me, if the chemistry produces anxiety, obsession, secrecy, and compromise, it is not my confirmation. If your attraction requires you to lower your standards to keep their attention, it is not my gift. If the connection turns you into someone you do not recognize, checking, chasing, performing, bargaining, losing sleep, losing appetite, losing prayer, then the fire you feel is not holy fire. What is from me may be passionate, but it will also be safe. It will not burn down your boundaries and call it love. Second, intermittent reinforcement, hot and cold. One day they are present, the next day they vanish. One week they speak future, the next week they treat you like an option. And that inconsistency keeps your mind addicted to potential, not grounded in reality. My child, I do not train my sons and daughters through emotional withdrawal. I do not teach love through unpredictability. You are not called to live off crumbs and call it faith. Consistency is not a bonus, it is a marker. Stability is not boring, it is evidence. Third, spiritual language without spiritual character. They can quote scripture and still refuse correction. They can pray out loud and still hide in private. They can talk about purpose while resisting accountability. Do not be impressed by vocabulary. Watch for submission. Watch for repentance. Watch for humility that can be confronted without rage. Because the counterfeit can memorize verses, but it cannot produce the fruit of the Spirit over time. And if they use my name to bypass your discernment, if they say, God told me to pressure you, my child, that is not revelation, that is manipulation. Fourth, urgency that pressures decisions before clarity. Rushing intimacy, rushing commitment, rushing access to your body, your home, your money, your heart. Hear me, I do not need chaos to accomplish covenant. I do not need you rushed to prove it is real. My timing carries peace. My will can withstand wisdom. If you must decide now, if you must ignore counsel, if you must hide it, if you must compromise just this once, that is not my spirit leading you. That is pressure. And pressure is not the language of my love. So let this be your test, simple and sharp. By their fruit you will know them, not by a grand gesture on a lonely night, not by an apology that changes nothing, not by a good morning text after a week of disrespect. Fruit is consistent outcomes. Fruit is honor that repeats. Fruit is truth that stays truth when desire is present. Fruit is peace that remains when no one is watching. And if the tree keeps producing confusion, tears, and self-abandonment, stop calling it a harvest. And I can feel the question rising in you now, so I will answer it before fear speaks louder than faith. What if I already rejected the right person? What if I missed it? My child, listen. What is mine cannot be lost by your honest obedience. What I have appointed for you is not so fragile that one moment of confusion can destroy my plan. I am not asking you to panic. I am teaching you to rest. If you need to apologize, I will give you humility. If you need to wait, I will give you patience. If you need to discern again, I will give you clarity. But you will not be punished for choosing peace. You will not be condemned for refusing counterfeits. Stay with me. I am not finished guiding you. and my timing is not late. My child, listen to me closely, because I hear the tremble underneath your questions. I hear the panic you try to hide behind discernment, and the ache you try to manage with overthinking. You keep replaying conversations. You keep revisiting doors you didn't walk through. You keep asking, what if that was them, and I didn't know? What if I missed my moment? What if I ruined it? And I am telling you, with the tenderness of a father and the authority of heaven, you cannot accidentally destroy what I have ordained by one imperfect moment when your heart was sincerely seeking me. I am not that fragile. My will is not that weak. My plans for you are not hanging by a thread called your anxiety. Hear me, what is mine cannot be lost. Not by a season of confusion, not by a boundary you enforced, not by a no you said because you were protecting your peace, not by a hesitation while you were healing. If I appointed it, I preserve it. If I wrote it, I watch over it. And if there is something you need to return to, I am able to restore. If there is someone you need to reconnect with, I am able to realign. I do not need you frantic to be faithful. I need you surrendered to be guided. Because sometimes I will allow separation, not as punishment, but as mercy. I will pull you back when your eyes are still trained on the wrong familiar. I will create space when your heart is still addicted to chaos. I will delay access when you are still negotiating with compromise, not because I enjoy withholding, but because I love what you are becoming. I am delivering you from patterns that would sabotage peace. I am healing you so you do not bleed on someone who did not cut you. I am maturing you so you do not confuse attention for covenant, and I am maturing them, too, strengthening character, aligning purpose, teaching responsibility, so when the timing opens, it is not fire that consumes, but fire that warms and builds. And I will guide you. I will not abandon you to guesswork. As it is written, you will hear a word behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it," when you turn to the right or to the left. Do you understand what that means? I do not only speak at the beginning, I speak while you walk. I do not only confirm in a dramatic moment, I direct in daily steps. One decision at a time, one door at a time, one conversation at a time. I am not asking you to run ahead, scanning faces, forcing outcomes, hunting for signs in every shadow. Lift your head, unclench your hands, come back into peace. So shift your posture now. Replace frantic searching with faithful preparation. Replace obsession with obedience. Your assignment is not to chase what I have already secured. Your assignment is to become ready for what you have prayed for. Let your days be filled with what builds you, prayer that steadies you, boundaries that protect you, healing that clears your vision, wisdom that keeps you sober, humility that keeps you teachable. Because when you are prepared, you will recognize peace without needing it to shout. You will recognize honor without needing it to prove itself through chaos. You will sustain what I send without fear gripping your throat. Stay with me, my child. I am not teasing your heart. I am training your discernment. And what I am building in you next is the evidence that you are closer than you think. My child, I need you to hear me clearly. I am not delaying you to punish you. I am preparing you to sustain what you have prayed for. I am not teasing your heart, dangling hope in front of you like a game. I am training your discernment because I refuse to let your future be decided by unhealed attachment, unguarded access, and emotions that have not yet learned how to be honest in my light. Listen closely. Love is not only about who you meet, it is about who you become before you are trusted with covenant. Preparation looks like healing the part of you that panics when someone pulls away. Preparation looks like confronting the wound that confuses being chosen with being chased. Preparation looks like learning boundaries that you can hold without apologizing, without explaining yourself into exhaustion, without shrinking to keep someone comfortable. It looks like emotional honesty, where you stop spiritualizing avoidance and you stop calling silence peace when it is really fear. It looks like integrity, my child, where your private life matches your prayers, where you do not ask me for holy love while you keep entertaining unholy access. Do not skip this. I will not hand you something precious while your hands are still trained to grip what harms you. And yes, I am preparing both of you. Sometimes one of you is ahead in maturity, and that is not rejection. That is synchronization. I will use seasons to bring timing into agreement. I will strengthen their character while I heal your heart. I will teach them responsibility while I teach you rest. I will build their consistency while I build your discernment. so you do not sabotage steadiness because you are unfamiliar with it. You thought the delay meant no, but often the delay is my mercy saying, not yet, because I love the outcome. So let me give you practical signs that readiness is forming in you. You can be alone without despair swallowing you. You can sit in a quiet room and still feel held. You can say no without guilt choking your throat. You do not feel obligated to overgive to earn safety. You value peace over pursuit. You would rather lose attention than lose obedience. And when you pray about a person, you do not feel addicted to an outcome, you feel anchored to me. That is discernment growing. That is the proof that you are becoming safe to love and safe to be loved. Now audit your own heart with me, my child. Have you been asking me for the person, but resisting the process that makes you able to steward them? Have you been praying for a healthy love while refusing the healing that would make healthy love recognizable? Have you been crying out for consistency while still romanticizing what is inconsistent because it feels familiar? I am not condemning you. I am inviting you. Come into the process. Let me retrain what you call chemistry. Let me cleanse what you call normal. Let me teach you to recognize peace as my voice. And hear this, because it will explain what you've been feeling lately. Resistance often intensifies right before alignment becomes visible. The enemy is loud when he knows I am making you ready. He is not only afraid of who you will be with, he is afraid of who you will become when you stop settling, when you stop chasing, when you stop mistaking anxiety for destiny. So do not interpret the warfare as a sign you are far away. Sometimes it is proof you are close. Stay sober, stay in peace, stay with me. What I am preparing cannot be rushed, and what I am aligning cannot be stopped. My child, I need you to understand why the battle has been loud lately. It is not because you are forgotten. It is not because I am playing with your heart. It is not because you are too late. The battle is loud because the assignment is real. The enemy does not waste warfare on what will not produce legacy. He does not spend resistance on what will not build stability. He does not target what will not birth purpose. Covenant is not just companionship, it is construction. It is two lives becoming a shelter, a testimony, a lineage of choices that outlive a moment. And that is why the pressure has increased right around your peace. That is why your mind gets noisy the moment you start to rest. Watch the pattern, my child. Sudden doubt that appears out of nowhere when you are fine in prayer. Comparison that tries to make you feel behind when I have you on time. Temptation to settle for attention because waiting feels heavy. Old exes resurfacing, not because they changed, but because the enemy wants to reattach you to what I delivered you from. Fear of vulnerability whispering, if you open your heart, you will be disappointed again. And sabotage through overthinking, replaying every sentence, analyzing every delay, constructing conclusions without counsel, without fruit, without peace. This is not just personality. This is strategy. Because if the enemy can get you to answer from panic, he can get you to abandon discernment. So I am commanding you in love, do not answer from panic. Do not rush a decision to quiet your anxiety. Do not run back to what broke you, just because it feels familiar to your nervous system. Familiar is not the same as safe. Familiar is not the same as mine. Do not call chaos a sign. Do not call inconsistency mystery. Do not call pressure passion. I am not asking you to prove faith by tolerating what I never authorized. I am teaching you to recognize my voice by the peace it produces. And hear me, this resistance is not proof you are rejected. It may be proof you are close to clarity, close to alignment, close to a door that will open without you breaking it down. The enemy gets louder when he senses you are about to stop chasing, when he realizes you are about to choose honor, when he sees you becoming steady. He is terrified of the version of you that does not spiral. He is terrified of the version of you that can wait without worshiping the weight. He is terrified of the version of you that can say, no more counterfeit, and mean it. Now breathe, my child, and come back to what I already taught you. If you have already crossed paths with the one I am preparing, I will not reveal it through frenzy. I will reveal it through peace and repeated witness. I may highlight them gently through consistent fruit, through honor that does not change when desire is present, through timing that does not require manipulation. It will not feel like losing yourself. It will feel like finding yourself anchored in me. So, stay sober, stay guarded, stay open-handed. Let the battle rage outside you while my peace rules within you, because my peace will judge what is mine, and what is mine will remain when the noise fades. Now listen closely, my child, because some of you are waiting for me to confirm a person the way the world confirms a distraction with adrenaline, with shock, with a dramatic sign that makes you feel like you cannot breathe. But I am telling you, when I highlight one specific person, the revelation will be gentle. It will not hijack your mind. It will steady your spirit. It will not demand you prove it with chaos. It will invite you into prayer with peace. Many of you have already felt it, and you didn't trust it because it wasn't loud. You kept remembering them without forcing it. Their name kept returning, not as a craving, but as a quiet nudge. You kept crossing paths, small intersections, repeated moments, not romantic theater, just a holy consistency that makes you pause. And when you intercede for them, something in you settles. You are not praying to possess them. You are praying to bless them. You are not spiraling. You are surrendering. That is one of the clearest witnesses. When you pray for them, do you feel closer to me, or do you feel pulled into confusion? Do you feel clean, or do you feel compromised? My confirmation does not intoxicate you, it clarifies you. And I need you to discern this line with precision. Conviction is calm. Obsession is restless. Conviction does not need to control. Conviction can wait. Conviction can pray and then go about your day in dignity. Obsession is loud in your chest. Obsession keeps checking. Obsession keeps rehearsing. Obsession keeps trying to secure an outcome before character has even spoken. My child, if you feel driven to manipulate timing, to chase answers, to force labels, that is not my spirit leading you. That is fear wearing spiritual clothing. I do not lead my sons and daughters by compulsion. I lead you by peace. So here is what you will do, simple, clean, and powerful. You will come to me and pray like this. Father, if this is not from you, remove the fantasy. Remove the craving. Remove the attachment that is not covenant. Close the door that is not mine, even if my emotions protest. And then you will pray, if this is from you, reveal fruit over time. Reveal honor in private. Reveal consistency without me asking for it. Let character speak louder than chemistry. And you will ask me for what you have been afraid to ask. Make it obvious. Make it gentle. Make it clear. Because I am not hiding my will from a surrendered heart. Now, be patient, my child. Let time and character testify. Do not name what I have not confirmed. Do not announce what I have not established. I can highlight them before I release the season. I can give you awareness before I give you permission. And if it is mine, it will not require you to rush. It will withstand wisdom. And right now, I want you to make a declaration that locks you back into peace before you move forward. Type it, say it, whisper it if you must. I choose peace over panic, and I will not force what God is confirming. My child, this is not a comment, it is alignment. This is you closing the door to counterfeit urgency and opening your heart to my gentle clarity. Now stay with me, because the next thing I am about to do is let my peace judge what is mine, and I will make your path plain. Now do it, my child. Do not just feel this and move on as if it was a passing moment. I am teaching you how to partner with my peace, and agreement matters in the spirit. So I want you to make it public, not for performance, but for alignment. Type it, say it, whisper it with trembling if you must. I choose peace and discernment. God will reveal what is mine. Speak it again until your chest loosens and your mind stops racing. Because when you declare peace, you are not writing words, you are closing doors. You are refusing counterfeit urgency. You are rejecting attachment that is not covenant. You are choosing my order over your old pattern. And listen closely, because this is also protection for someone else. Share this with the friend who keeps calling chaos chemistry. Share it with the one who keeps excusing inconsistency because they are afraid to be alone. Share it with the one who keeps spiritualizing red flags and calling anxiety a sign. My child, do not watch someone you love drown in familiar disorder when I have given you a lifeline to throw. This is not gossip. This is covering. This is not meddling. This is mercy. Now, stay right here with me, because your declaration is the doorway into prayer. When you agree with my peace, you invite my clarity. When you choose discernment, you silence the counterfeit. So breathe, unclench, and let us pray. Father, let your peace judge what is mine, heal what has been trained by chaos, and align divine timing without me forcing a single thing. Father, in the name of Jesus, I bring my child to you right now, and I ask you to do what only you can do. Sharpen their discernment until it is clean and steady. Silence the anxiety that has been masquerading as intuition. Quiet the racing mind that keeps trying to predict what I have already promised to guide. Let your peace rise like a judge inside them, firm, gentle, and undeniable. As your word declares, let the peace of Christ rule, act as an umpire in their heart, deciding what stays and what must go. And I ask you, Father, expose what is counterfeit without shame, reveal the truth without humiliation, remove confusion without condemnation. I do not embarrass my children, I rescue them. I do not mock their longing, I purify it. Guard their heart, Lord, place a hedge around their emotions, their body, their attention, their private thoughts. Protect them from manipulation that uses affection as a hook and spiritual language as a weapon. Protect them from lust that feels urgent but leaves them empty. Protect them from emotionally unsafe bonds that require them to shrink, to perform, to beg for consistency, to barter their boundaries for crumbs. I break the power of soul ties that were formed through compromise, secrecy, and trauma bonding. I cancel the assignment of the enemy that tries to make chaos feel like home. Let holiness feel safe again. Let wisdom feel attractive again. Let honor feel normal again. And Father, if they have already crossed paths with the one you are preparing, order the timing, order the steps, order the conversations. Let what is hidden come into light the right way, at the right pace, with the right covering. Let character be confirmed over time. Let fruit be consistent. Let intentions be pure. Let there be no games, no double-mindedness, no confusion. If it is from you, establish it with peace. If it is not from you, close the door with peace. Do it so gently and so clearly that they do not have to force anything, chase anything, or lose themselves trying to figure it out. Now, my child, I want you to surrender. Release the outcome, release the timeline, release the fantasy you built to soothe your loneliness. Put it down in my hands. Say, Father, I want your will more than I want a feeling. I want your order more than I want attention. I want your best more than I want my way. And as you release control, I release clarity. As you release striving, I release peace. You will not be led by panic. You will be led by my presence. And stay with me, because now that discernment has been prayed, healing must be prayed, because some of what you have called chemistry has been a wound asking for comfort. And I am about to break that pattern, so healthy love becomes recognizable to you. Father, in the name of Jesus, I bring my child before you again, and I do not come to shame them for what they survived. I come to heal them for what you are sending. I put my hand on the roots, not just the symptoms. Where rejection taught them to perform, I break that lie now. Where abandonment trained them to chase, I sever that pattern now. Where inconsistency became familiar, where hot and cold became normal, where love felt like something they had to earn, I uproot it in Jesus' name. I silence the voice that says, if I don't hold on tighter, I will be left. I cancel the agreement that says, if I set a boundary, I will lose love. My child is not a beggar. My child is not an option. My child is not an afterthought. Heal the places, Father, where trauma bonded them to chaos. Heal the nervous system that confuses intensity with intimacy. Heal the heart that learned to interpret anxiety as desire. I break the cycle of attraction to emotionally unavailable people. I break the appetite for potential that never becomes fruit. I break the addiction to apology without change. I break the craving for attention that costs them their dignity. And I call their heart back into order. Let what was scattered come home. Let what was hypervigilant exhale. Let what was bracing for loss finally feel safe in my presence. Now renew their desires, retrain their taste. Teach them that steadiness is not boredom, steadiness is safety. Teach them that consistency is not too good to be true, it is what I call healthy. Teach them to recognize honor as romance, integrity as attraction, peace as confirmation. And when someone offers them confusion, let their spirit feel it immediately, not as condemnation, but as mercy. Let the red flags stop looking like invitations, Let manipulation stop sounding like passion. Let the wrong familiar lose its perfume. Strengthen their boundaries, Father. Put courage in their mouth to say no without trembling. Put wisdom in their pace to slow down without guilt. Put fire in their feet to walk away from double-mindedness without looking back. Let them require honor. Let them require clarity. Let them require consistent fruit. And if someone cannot meet them in light, let my child be free to leave them in peace. And I speak identity over you now, my precious one. You are chosen. You are lovable without earning it. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified because you had to learn the hard way. I redeem what was wasted. I restore what was taken. I repay what was stolen. And I am making you able to recognize what is mine because I am making you whole. Now expect what happens after healing. A quiet shift, a softer chest, a clearer no, a cleaner yes, a steadier prayer life. And in my timing, a communication that aligns without you forcing it, an honest conversation, a door that opens gently, a connection that feels like peace settling instead of panic rising. Stay in my presence, my child. What is mine will meet you in the light, and it will not require you to bleed to keep it. My peace is sealing you now, and you will rest. Now listen, my child, because this is what happens next when I have done this kind of healing in you, when I have retrained your taste, when I have quieted the frantic part of you, when I have broken your addiction to the wrong familiar. What happens next is not always loud, it is not always dramatic, it is often a quiet shift. You will wake up and realize your chest is softer. You will notice you are no longer checking your phone like it is a lifeline. You will feel the difference between desire and desperation, and you will recognize that my peace is not a moment, it is a ruler. It judges what is mine. Because, hear me, the person I am preparing for you will not scatter you. They will not pull you into confusion and call it love. They will not require you to abandon wisdom to prove loyalty. The clearest evidence will be this: your spirit settles. Not because you are numb, not because you are indifferent, but because alignment feels like safety. And over time, fruit will speak. Honor will speak. Consistency will speak. Not one perfect day, not one emotional speech, not one apology without change, but a pattern you can watch, a character you can verify, a steadiness that does not punish you for having standards. So your next step is simple, and it is holy. Pray and keep praying. Observe fruit without forcing outcomes. Keep your boundaries without apologizing for them. Stay in community wisdom. Do not isolate with your emotions, and call it peace when it is really avoidance. Let counsel cover you. Let trusted voices remind you of what you asked me to heal. And do not rush labels, my child. Do not name what I have not established. If it is mine, it will stand in the light. It will not fear time. It will not fear questions. It will not fear accountability. And I need you to rest in this. You will not miss what I have for you. If you already cross paths, and it is truly my will, I am able to reconnect what needs to reconnect. I can restore timing. I can reopen a door the right way. I can bring a conversation back with humility and clarity. And if that chapter is not mine, I am not limited to the past. I can introduce a new. I can bring someone you have never considered. I can bring someone you have not met yet. Either way, what is mine is not lost, and you are not behind. Walk in peace, and I will reveal the right connection in my time. Now agree with me one more time. Say it again. Type it again. I choose peace over panic, and I will not force what God is confirming. And if you want continued covering, more discernment, more prayer, more clarity, subscribe and stay close, because I will keep speaking to the ones I am training. Like this video as your agreement with peace, and in the comments, write your declaration again, or leave a prayer request for clarity and healing in your relationships. My child, you are sealed in peace. You are guided, you are protected, and you will rest while I arrange what you cannot yet see.